Fighting here at UFC Phoenix Media Day, speaking with Vicente Luque, who fights Bryan Barberena on the main card on Sunday. And first things, Vicente, I mean, you just had your first face-off with Bryan. I'm just curious, what did you see there?
Man, I saw a guy that's going to bring it, and that excites me a lot, you know. I know Barberena is a tough guy. He can take a punch, and he can go 3 rounds, you know, without losing his pace. And that's what I felt when I saw him. He's going to come for it, and I'm ready to go and you know, beat him up. So it's going to be a good fight. Everybody should keep an eye on that.
I want to ask you about this weekend overall, right? Because it is such a big weekend for the UFC. It's kind of the start of the ESPN deal, really. Growing up, were you an ESPN guy? Like, does this mean anything to you extra special to be on this card?
For sure, man. ESPN has always been the biggest network for sports, and to have the UFC over there now, that's a big thing. That's a big step for MMA. That's a big step for all the UFC fighters. And man, I know that many people are going to have their eyes on me, so it's one more opportunity for me to go there and show what I'm capable of doing.
Well, I will be candid. After your last win over Jalen Turner, I publicly said, if you don't get a ranked opponent next, I'm going to riot. Something's going wrong. Is Bryan Barberena the type of opponent you expected, considering the run that you're on?
You know, I definitely wanted a top 15 guy, but Barberena is the guy that I wanted next, if not a top 15, you know? So, you know, he's coming off a win of Jake Ellenberger, that what used to be a well-ranked guy. So, you know, this is the kind of guy I want to fight. He's been beating a lot of guys. He's fought a lot of guys. He fought Colby Covington, that eventually turned into interim champion. So it's definitely a good name. I think a win over him is going to put me at a next level, and hopefully I'm going to fight a top 15 or be a top 15.
Why do you think it has taken so long for the UFC to kind of get on board? I mean, you're 7-1 in the division. You're not getting decisions. All these stoppages are first and second round stoppages in highlight reel fashion. Just, what does a guy got to do to get some love around him?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to know. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that talks a lot of shit. You know, I'm not the guy that's gonna be talking around. At the same time, I'm not the guy that's just quiet and not. I have my social media. I connect to the fans. I am sure that the fans enjoy my fight style. So I don't know. If in terms of merit, I think I deserve to be at the top 15. If they don't think it's enough, I'll keep on working and I'll keep putting wins under my belt, and eventually they're going to have to give me. If I beat everyone out of the top 15, there's no way they cannot give me a top 15. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing.
Is it frustrating in a way? Like, does it feel to you that there is a surefire way to sort of get where you want to go? Because I feel like if some people had been on this type of run, they would have gotten fast-tracked, whereas for you it's taking a lot longer. I mean, is it frustrating? Do you see a path for you?
I mean, I think maybe if I had, you know, maybe gone and talked shit to some of the guys that are ranked guys, or you know, got into a fight with someone in one of the shows I was at as a guest fighter, maybe that would get me closer to it. But at the same time, that would not be me. That would not be who I am. And I don't think a champion becomes a champion being someone else. You know, if you get Conor McGregor, yeah, he talks a lot of shit. He is what he is, but still, that's him. That is who he is, who he always was. So I cannot just get, you know, his book and say, oh, let me be Conor McGregor and try to become a champion that way. I got to be myself, and that's what I'm going to be. And if my way of talking is inside the octagon, I'm going to keep on talking that way. And I think, I mean, for the fans, I'm sure that that's working. Eventually, the UFC and whoever builds the rankings will recognize that.
What do you see in Bryan as an opponent for this weekend? I mean, where do you feel like he is best at?
I see a great striker, you know, unorthodox, southpaw. He's a guy that does not have the conventional way of striking. He tries to keep the distance at first, and then he tries to brawl the guy. He tries to bring the guy into his brawler style. At the same time, I think that's a good point for me. I'm a more technical guy. I'm going to look for openings, and I see a striking match. I think it's going to be 3 rounds of striking, and I'm going to be looking for that knockout for sure.
Well, you know, it's interesting because he is someone who has been in this spot before. He's a big underdog fighting people on good streaks, and he has surprised some people in the past. I'm just curious, why do you think he has been able to surprise people? Like, does it feel like people are overlooking him? What is your thoughts?
I think sometimes people overlook him. They think maybe he's too simple of a style. But me, myself, I'm a simple fighter. I'm not the kind of guy that's going there and throwing a lot of fancy stuff. But the simple works. So I'm definitely not going to overlook him. And the other thing is he has a very good mental pressure. So he grows with the fight. Each round he gets better instead of starting off strong and finishing up weak. So that's a big thing he has going for him, and it's something I've been looking for, and I want to put that pressure on him. I want to make him feel what's going to be like a guy growing as he's growing, and see if he can take that pressure.
Well, hey, my final question for you, man. It's February. You have this win streak. You're fighting early in the year, so you're going to get a chance to get a couple more. Lay this out for me. What does a perfect 2019 look like for Vicente Luque?
Perfect is 4 fights. I want 4 fights this year. That's why I'm starting out February. But, 3 fights would be great. If I can put on 3, that's great. Perfect is 4 fights.
Where are you by the end of the year in this perfect scenario?
Top 10, for sure.
Well, excellent, man. You're well on your way. Good luck this weekend. I appreciate the time.